Last time in a Nikon 20 something to whatever something review, we asked you to like if you wanted to see us review the TOKINA 11 to 16 F2.8 lens. If we got 300,000 likes, we would do it. But we didn't get 300,000. But there's a new one out, so we're quite kind. We thought we'd do a review on this. When you're shooting crop-censored DSLR bodies, it's not always that easy to find a proper wide-angle lens for an acceptable price. Luckily, there are the Sigmas, Tamrons and TOKINAs to fill the void, like this 11 to 16 ATX f2.8 Pro SD IF-DX lens from TOKINA. But there's one thing. The thing is though, it's not all that cheap. It's $700 US or 500 quid. Or if you live in Greece, it's not even worth thinking about. The thing is, it still looks pretty cheap though. They haven't really changed the aesthetics. Build quality isn't too bad actually. Well, kind of. When you look at the this zoom, not the zoom, when you look at this manual focus pulley back wankathon thing, and you pull it back, sometimes you get more of a gap on this side than the other side. It does sound pricey for a TOKINA, but this is wide and has that same maximum aperture throughout the range. The TOKINA SD 11 to 16 f2.8 open bracket IF closed bracket DX2 ATX Pro, ATX meaning advanced technology extra, Pro meaning professional probably, has got an internal focusing motor now. The old one didn't, it still needed something to drive it. This, you can actually use it with all the cheaper Nikon DSLRs now, like D3200 and D5100. You don't have to have just expensive models, so that's good. It's now for cheapos, and that's the thing. This is only usable with DX censored, crop censored DSLRs, hence the DX in the name. That does mean a lot for Nikon users. I have to say it's not that bad in terms of the build quality. It is solid, even though it looks cheap. It does look bloody horrible. I'm being nice here. It looks disgusting. It looks like somebody who's had bad burns to their face or something. It looks like if a bulldog and the Hulk made babies, this is what it would look like. Disgusting. I mean, I don't know why this has got a bit wobbly as well. Different kind of grip to this one. But it's solid. Although the filter thing here, the thread is plastic, not so good. For some reason you don't like him, so he's not going to say anything, not going to stop doing stuff in this video. So we'll even slap him. You're not allowing me or lot. You don't like seeing our intern, so we found out a way to cover his face. Talking about reflections, although I don't think I was talking about reflections, I was talking about flaring. We've got a mirror which reflects. We're going to do something fancy with it. Oi. Yeah, don't show your face, but point the mirror the other way. So we've got a mirror. We're going to do something fancy. Instead of just doing street shots or street photography on the street, we're going to do something a little bit different. This is the biggest reflex camera in the world. Because you know why it's called reflex camera? Because it reflects. Probably not. No, let's go. With this ultra-wide zoom, lots of things will be in focus, which is perfect when you want stuff in the reflection as well as stuff immediately in front of you and the real background to be in focus for that effect. So the optics of this has got 13 elements, 11 groups. That is usually like a quick way of getting flare, all those elements. You're basically asking for it. And you did with the old one. You got more, is more prone to flare than a Saturday Night Fever's tribute act. Bloody hell. One of the benefits of this new version is that it's got new multi-coating. So the coating should be quite good for preventing the flareage like that. Pretty good. Just a slight hint of ghosting when pointing is at the sun. Oops, ow! That's the trouble with wide angles. Things are actually closer than you realise. Perfect. Poor guy, look what you made him do. He's got to have a mirror for a face today. He can't walk anywhere. Can you? Well, don't speak yet. They still don't like you. Let's go. So in terms of optics, in theory, this should be quite good. But in terms of the improvements, Mark II over the Mark I, well, it's not called Mark I or II, just saying. It's actually not much, it's just the multi-coating and the internal focusing motor. That's it, let's go home. Okay, I'll do the rest of the review then. Seems we didn't review the first one. God. That's gonna end in tears. Getting tips from tips on how to put a mirror up from construction workers. So if you ever need a mirror put up in your house in Hong Kong, you know where to come. Actually, in terms of autofocus, it's pretty good actually. It's not the quickest wide angle. I mean, you don't really need to focus much in a wide angle like this. Everything's in focus. Lovely. People waiting. You can actually, when you look at this going from close to infinity, that's how quick it is. In terms of ergonomics, it's not much to say really, but I do. You know, this pumpy thing, of course it works nicely to go from autofocus to manual focus. But there's no manual focus auto ride. But there's no manual focus override when you've got it in autofocus mode like that. For some reason the pumpy ring thing kept pulling back accidentally. It's not a shotgun, but it's damn annoying when you go for that shot only to realise that it's in manual focus. But forget the pumpy thing, you can forgive this lens for having a loose ring, because it really does do the business in terms of image quality. In terms of sharpness, things look great. Tip top from what you can see on your screen. It's great. This is not a bad lens really. There's hardly a hint of vignetting. Brilliant. Really can't see any vignetting anywhere. It gives you confidence to use this on full frame, and it really does work because you only see black corners when you're around 13mm on a full frame camera. Not that DX after all, is it? Look, my funny face in the mirror. Little did she know it would be shown on YouTube. No bendy lines until you get to the wider end where you get a slight bit of barrel distortion, but it's so insignificant I wonder why I even bothered doing this voiceover. Though there is a bit of corner softness when it's shot wide open. Stop it down further and you still get a very slight bit of corner softness at f8, but much improved all around, and its optimal performance is between f8 and f11. In some ways it's a no-brainer. It's good, but nothing really. Slack ring, slightly cheesy design. Alright, it's not the same amazing build quality and design as the Nikon 14-24 f2.8, but neither is it close to being the same price. When you have a good ultra-wide angle zoom option with great optics, how can one possibly pick on something that doesn't make this any less of a lens? So that's it for the Tamron TOKINA 11-16 ATX Pro SD IF DX2. We're off to go down Fuckman Road. It's not the kind of road you think of.